What is happening? What is happening in the United States of America right now? We got a crazy election process beat. We got the battle between Donald Trump and the battle between Joe Biden, and it's too crazy going on.
Look, you are so hyped up right now that you completely missed it. You completely missed everything. Hey everybody, this is B, that's B, and this is the B&B podcast. Today we're going to talk about the results of the election and the ongoing issues that's going on. Now, B, let's get back to what you were saying.
Hey, so we got two candidates trying to fight this battle right now. We had several states, Nevada, Pennsylvania, Michigan, cut back their freaking voting counts because a lot of fraudulence, a lot of miscounts.
Yeah. And that doesn't even include, I'm going to cut you off right there. That doesn't even include Pennsylvania, Georgia, North Carolina, where it's like North Carolina's not even counting until next Wednesday or something like that. Oh my God.
We got Arizona too.
Yeah,
they were.
It's insane.
Yeah, but B, I'm shocked. Like, things happening. Like, it's just like, I mean, all right. So let me rephrase.
Yeah.
So
that's fine.
In the previous video, you agreed with me.
Yeah.
That Donald Trump was going to win this election.
Yeah.
It was going to be a battle. But you thought it was going to be majority Donald Trump.
Yeah. I thought that he actually would have a little bit more. He would gain a little bit more. Obviously, that's not the case from what we're looking at. But I think we'll talk through it. But yeah, keep going. Sorry.
Anyway, now looking at this is day 2, right? Or
this is day 3.
Day 3, excuse me. Yeah. So day 3 into the election. What are your opinions and how do you think this is going to?
Well, my opinions about what? There's a lot of opinions. Okay, so I guess I'll try to work it out.
Yeah.
Okay, so to me, my first opinion is the results of this election.
First opinion.
First opinion. Based on where the election is now, there's been massive voter fraud that needs to be weeded out. That's one. Number 2, the reason why I build up to that is because how do you every time in the past in these elections, it's like, hey, we're counting until it's done. Every single time it's like they're counting out until those results are done. The only close one that I can recall that was like this was Florida in 2000, where it took several weeks, but they over those weeks was counted multiple times. And like that first night, I think, if I can remember properly, they had like, hey, these are the results. It's really close, but these are the results. We don't have that. We don't have that in North Carolina. We don't have that in Georgia. We don't have that in Michigan, Pennsylvania, Nevada, Arizona. And so to me, it really does allude, and even possibly Wisconsin, even though they gave it to Biden in Wisconsin, it alludes to me that there's massive fraud going on. One, because all these states all of a sudden, for the first time, it's like, we're just going to do a mass of mail-in ballots. We're going to ship out ballots to who the heck knows who. Then they come in. Most states were like, hey, we count the mail-in ballots first. Well, and then I think Pennsylvania is one that they, based on their laws, they couldn't. So understand that. But no other state that I heard of really was doing that. So at the beginning of the election day, there was a big bump at the beginning for Biden, and it was like, hey, everybody understands that. Then and you expect Trump to come back. So Trump started coming back, came back in Michigan, Wisconsin, and took like a 5-point lead in both those states. I went to bed that night, as did everybody else in the United States. Trump 5-point lead, Wisconsin, Michigan doing fine. I wake up the next day, and all of a sudden Biden is winning. Biden is winning in Michigan or in Wisconsin, and basically winning in Michigan. I'm like, time out. Where does this come from? Whenever there was no the trends,
no build-up.
The trends were just constantly Trump, and Biden had already gotten the drop of the votes before. So to me, there's something fishy going on. Not to mention that whenever I was watching Fox News, and this may be my, if anybody sees this and corrects me on it, when I was watching Fox News, they were showing the 2016 election, 2020 election, the differences. They were showing Maricopa County, Phoenix, in Arizona. In 2016 election, there was like 500,000 votes for Hillary Clinton, 590,000 votes for like Hillary Clinton, 590,000 for Trump, or, very close to that. This election, Biden was over 750 and Trump was like over 7. So you're telling me that Phoenix, which I'm not saying it's improbable, jumped up 300,000 votes in the course of 4 years? That's a massive increase for a city, not the state, for a city. And I know that people from California are moving to places like Phoenix. Yeah. But that really is a huge surge of people that are all like just moving to that area. So that then makes me wonder about Arizona even more. And then it just kind of, then Arizona, they're like, 95% in, it's locked in. And all of a sudden, they made an error, and it dropped from 95 or 96% to 86% in, to where Trump still then had a chance there. It's like, okay, what's going on with these numbers? This isn't the first time we've done this. And I know it's a 4-year gap, so people get, it's like kind of a little bit of a fresher. But, man, I don't see how we can make this many mistakes in just this 1 year. Maybe a state, maybe 2 states, but there's so many states where it's like, well, time out, these numbers they're just not making sense. And then the same thing with Pennsylvania and Georgia. Water main breaks. What? Water main breaks? Come on, man. We're playing JV here now, We're playing JV where it's like water main breaks and we got to freaking close up for a second. I didn't know that counting votes required water. Or maybe it's like a cartoon where the room is just starting to fill up because the water main's filling through. I don't know the full story.
Honestly, I thought they were doing maybe rotational shifts. I think they should do that. Honestly, just have these. Actually, I do have a question. You might know.
Yeah.
Who actually counts the votes? Do you know?
I don't know, actually. Yeah. I was under the impression that there would be people would sign up to vote, right? People would sign, or not to vote. People would sign up to count votes, to register to count the vote counters, and I would sit 2 people side by side that didn't know each other, obviously. One for Republican, one for Democrat, and they verify these votes, right? And we are a country. We're a country of trillions and trillions of dollars. You can easily create a system, an automated system, to where whenever it reads, it tabulates the person's social on the card, right? Maybe it's a punch or, hey, squiggle out, hey, I'm blocking out my freaking social. And as that social comes through, be like, hey, you got a social security number? This is it. It comes through again. Whoa, shoot. Why was there a second social security number? I can identify this stuff. And then I can cancel out or something like that and be like, hey, boom, this isn't good. And you find out that on this paper, this person was voted for this person. This paper is voted for a different person. So someone might be doing some fraudulent, trying to be someone else.
Can't remember.
Or if it's 2 votes of the same person, it's like, hey, this person's trying to vote twice. I don't know if that exists, but to me it seems like it doesn't, because there's something going on here that just is really weird, and it does not point to an honest election.
Well, I was going to say, I can't remember what news outlet displayed this, but I'm giving an estimate. I'm not 100% sure. But the estimate that I thought I saw was 800,000 people were second registered for votes, and then 1.2 million dead citizens were actually registered to vote.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so it's a tough situation right here.
And to me, this is me being a Trump supporter, probably. I am going to be, leaning towards Trump and stuff. But to me, also, I would think that I would hope that I can analyze it enough to where I would understand. Damn. Like, if the trend was going towards Biden, you can see the trend's going towards Biden. Like, when Obama beat Romney, I am more conservative, and it's like, it's actually getting Obama and stuff again. But you can see the trend was going towards Obama. It's like, hey, it's over. The trend was going towards Trump heavily. That's where like my initial thinks, and I think he would even gain more ground this time, because the trend was showing that he would have Georgia, North Carolina, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Arizona, and potentially Nevada. If he grabbed all those, he would have had gains from the last election to this election. But now, the way I see it is, again, this is conspiracy theory right here. Conspiracy theory, just so you know. The first results come in through mail-in ballots. They are able to identify, I see you, They're able to identify how many votes they're behind. Oh shoot, we're behind here, we're behind there, we're behind here with the mail-in ballots. Okay, well hey, what if a water main breaks inside of middle of Atlanta? We stop, we can start gathering more stuff that if we needed, and then the next day we reopen, and all of a sudden we have more votes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You do that because now you're able to go beyond. You have time to start doing stuff like that. Like whenever, hey, Pennsylvania, oh, now we're going to extend it to Friday. Now you have time for something to happen, whether it's the Democrat side or the Republican side. It's like now you have time to play these little games about, hey, we need to get more. And honestly, post videos up if you see Republicans doing it as well. But right now, I've seen multiple videos of potential fraud on YouTube being spread across the board. Not to mention, apparently there was 20,000 votes in Michigan, 20,000 drop-off votes. 100% for Biden.
Yeah.
100%. I'm sorry, that is not possible.
It's not.
It is not.
I was actually going to bring that up.
Yeah.
I
Sorry.
think no, you're good. No, you're good. Keep talking. I'm listening to you now.
Yeah, no. So to me, there's too much going on. So so in B's world, I would be like, it's a wash. It's a wash. I don't care if it costs another couple $1 billion that we have to redo. We're doing a wash. If you want to vote, you need to come out and vote. You'll come to the polls, you will vote in person, and we will need to do this again. And we need to do it the old way so we can get an honest thing. And we will make sure it's counted honestly, accurately. And therefore, it's like, look, if Biden wins,
he wins.
He wins.
Yep. And if Trump wins,
he wins. And it's like, look, we can't play these games. People, we need to understand this because the way that, in the end, how this has changed, the mail-in votes, the mailing, not just mail-in votes, but mailing it to people that no longer live there. I don't know how many people have reported that they've received mail from people that no longer live there, which is a ballot to vote. How many people don't report that they got it and voted for the person that they wanted?
Oh, they probably
whether on either side. But you also got to remember that a lot of those were done in Democratic states, and so you would expect a larger proportion of the United States to do that, be the Democrats, which is why, again, of course, I'm against it. I'm against either party doing it, but just the statistics would tell me that they would be doing it more. I'm trying to keep up with myself here.
Good, yeah.
Next, whenever we're looking at this stuff, voting in person and doing it again, like I said, then you really can't. There's no argument. Everyone knows what we're going to be doing then, and it just kind of goes into, oh, that's what it was. When it comes to this voting early, doing that. Also, the 11th hour changes to the voting process. The Democrats went to their state to change it in Pennsylvania to be able to turn in up to 3 days after election. No, it's election day. Election day is a reason. If you can't make it in by election day, which you've known about for months, it's done. But now their court said, oh, you can go to Friday. And you don't even need a stamp. So it's like, oh, so you don't need to have proof that it was turned in on time? You don't have to have proof for this stuff? We're just going to count it no matter what? It's like, how do you do that? How do you, so now you're just invalidating all these, it's not valid anymore. Pennsylvania cannot be valid anymore. It needs a complete new vote. Open up, no matter what, you vote in person. You can't make it, I'm sorry. That's the way we got to play the game at this point because there's too many variables. We've added too many variables to the game where we cannot track it. Then that also goes down to Arizona and Nevada. Mm-hmm. Look, I don't know where whoever is watching this, where they live in the United States. If you've ever been to Arizona, to Southern California, to New Mexico, to Western Texas, even Southern Texas, Texas in general, there is flooded with illegal immigrants. Whenever I was in Phoenix, I was driving to a Walmart. There was literally about 100 men waiting outside of Walmart instead of a giant group, illegal immigrants, and a giant group waiting to get picked up to go to work. My question is how many of them were given ballots to vote and able to vote inside of Arizona? So it makes really a big difference. Is like, hey, are these people then voting and then turning the tide as well? So the question then is where's that vote coming from? So are those votes valid, or are those more illegal votes that are also playing against it? So that's what I have right now as to like my full thought of where everything's at. The West, Nevada and Arizona, both have that kind of playing against them. The East then has the rules and the extensions, as well as potential just throwing votes up all over for Democrats inside of these elections. So that's kind of where I stand.
Well, B, statistically, you know, if you have those votes who are, well, you said 22,000 that are pro-Biden, like, obviously there's a giant hiccups when it comes to that issue, too.
Yeah.
And just, like, the fact, like Pennsylvania, it's just it's just craziness going on, too. Like, these big cities now, they have two parties, like, you know, Biden and Trump, going to these cities and they're protesting, saying, hey, count the votes. Then you have one half of the group that's saying, no, stop the counting. And that mixture just causes too much chaos. And then these people who are counting the votes are like, oh, what do we do? What do we do? Like, this, it brings a panic more. And I think that's honestly what's leading up to not another civil war, but maybe another giant uprising when it comes to this issue.
Yeah. Oh no, it's definitely, you know, fuel for the fire, so to speak, right? So, and that's why, like I said, and I think, you know, you're agreeing with me, is just reset, just do it, you know, screw it, we're doing it live, right? Show up, vote again, and it might not be all the states. If you won by a lot, maybe it's just the states that are in contention. Well, hey, you're just showing up and doing those states. I don't know if that, you know, if we do that or if it's every single state,
or do the states where they have the most misconceptions.
Well, exactly. That's what I'm saying. The states right now that are controversial, right? So Arizona, Michigan, Nevada, Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Georgia, North Carolina. Guess what? Throw it all away. Start over. Let's, you know, it'll be a couple months because they got to reset, right? Maybe January, because they're doing runoffs in January anyways. Hey, January, we're doing this whole state again. Let's go. You know, it's good. Yeah, it sucks. We don't want to do this, but we have to have a way to identify that this stuff is official. Therefore, in the West, you know that you're not getting illegal immigrants to vote and people that are not registered. And in the East, you're not getting people that are filling in multiple ballots and throwing into the pot. So, pretty crazy. Okay. So, with that being said, I've been rambling on for a long time. I need to know your thoughts on the whole thing. You're answering my questions. What are your thoughts?
I'm just going to break it down simply. It's a cahoots. It's a cahoots.
Okay, well, explain that.
What do you mean it's a cahoots?
Well, I want to know, because I've never heard of cahoots before.
I mean, I think it's too much craziness right now. Like, honestly, I haven't been paying much attention to it.
Yeah.
Because, like, my family and my girlfriend, they're watching it constantly on TV. That's the only thing they're watching. Mm-hmm. And also, too, like, I see people, like, I'll go to, like, a coffee shop. All they're doing is listening to their phones about jumbo, this and that. And I'm like, God damn, like, y'all can't listen to something else. Like, social media is doing a bad job with this, too. And actually, I did want to bring that up, too. Social media actually had more of a lead on Trump. But I think it was like on Facebook. But Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and TikTok, they're more pro-Biden.
Yeah.
Which, of course, you know, people are so biased within that platform, within those platforms. They're going to be like, oh, this is not right. Like, keep doing it, keep doing this, keep doing that. And me personally, I'm trying to stay away from social media in general because a lot of these outlets, they're bringing too much confusion, too much panic into these, you know, these cities, their families, and, you know, of course, the families, too, that's going to go down to the children, too, and then
it becomes culture at that point.
Yeah, actually, for some reason, it wasn't a school season for some reason. I was thinking. Well, yeah, but those kids will go down to school, and then all they're talking about is the election. Like, I mean, it's just a cancer kind of running around, a domino effect that's just going down, and going down. And honestly, that's just me saying, like, hey, like, and me, I'm more liberal, but at the same time, I'm not gonna go for the liberal side just because I'm biased. I'm actually trying to, you know, be reasonable, be rational within these parameters. And when I see something like this occurring, this is not right. Morally, it's not the right thing to do, and that's just me. That's just B.
Yeah.
I'm the second B. In the shirt, that's just me saying I think it's cool.
Yeah, no, I agree that the culture then which is being built by social media is causing this. One of the fraudulent videos that you could pull up is a guy saying, "Hey, you got to do what you got to do," and it shows him burning a stack of ballots. And it's like, look, hey, that's, you really think that whenever, people call the President of the United States the leader of the free world, you really think that's being free?
Yeah.
That's being
That's
free is exactly, that's being honest. That's, hey, if you lose, you lose, and you know that you have the next chance because it is a free country, you have that chance in 4 years to do it. Donald Trump has not proven to be the guy that's going to take that away. I mean, we still have a vote right now, you know what I mean? So it's not so horrible. It's like, hey, you got to do it. You be honest. You play the game the way that it's meant to be played as honorable, because that's who we are as the United States. That's how we represent us. Exactly.
Well, actually, I did want to say something about like how you were talking about Trump's not authority figure. I mean, he is authority figure as in comes to leadership, but
authoritarian.
Yeah, I was going to say that, but like when it comes to like the authoritarian, the ways, like it was kind of funny. He mentioned, "I already won this election" and stuff. I'm like, well, I mean, honestly, brother, like you're still the president, but going off what's going on, like you can't say that. Like, and watching like Joe Biden's too, like well, something's going on with the administration too, but like him going like where was it? I forgot in Delaware, but like he presented himself along with his wife, but actually he kind of actually spoke decently for one of the first times. But I think it's just too.
Yeah, and this crazy. I just kind of wonder, and I'm not saying that this is his master plan, but he's like, hey, we're just going to stay quiet. We don't want to add fuel to where people are like, hey, we're gonna do more searches, right? Yeah. But you're right. But that's also Trump being Trump, right? I mean, I'm not saying I'm a fan of Trump because I love how he has this, because he presents himself. Most people don't like him because of that. Yeah. The thing that is are we voting for a president because of his attitude, or are we voting for a president because he does good things for the United States? Just like they talk about in the polls, 60% of the United States agrees, or roughly 60%, it's like high 50s, like 58, 59%, roughly 60% of the United States feels that they're better off today than they were 4 years ago. So if you're better off today than you were 4 years ago, and the same guy can help you get even better 4 years from now, why would you go against him? Why would you vote against him? To me, it's not the policies. People might be voting more with, they're like, oh, I just don't like the way he perceives himself. Well, if you're doing that, then you're not looking at the job he's able to bring. What can he bring the United States as a whole? Not just you, but the United States as a whole.
I'll be real with you, B. The reason why people vote, it's not done. Well, that's why a lot of people are not really educated when it comes to stuff like this, because remember, news, they basically manipulate it in their own, for their own reasonings. But a lot of people go off emotion. They go off of EQ, and that's what persuades them to vote. And when like how you're saying, we should be looking at the policy building, the decision making, the diplomacy that's going on. But unfortunately, in this country, I would say we don't have that. A lot of people, like I said, go off emotional reasoning. And I do agree with you. Like if a person's doing a good job in his first term, and he's done significant things to better ourselves, then we should go for it. But just because, this is another side too. It's not just me being biased, but I'm saying just because you do something good in 4 years doesn't mean the next 4 will be good. I mean, that's what happened to Obama. I mean, he did decent for his first term, but then the second term, it kind of went down. Me personally, I like Obama, but at the same time, I recognize what he's saying, what he did.
Exactly. You're saying that, hey, even though you line up more with Obama and line up and stuff, you still cannot recognize his first 4 years were up, and his second 4 years were a little bit, not as good as the first 4 years. Exactly. But unfortunately, it's either take the trend that you know, right, the history that you know, against something that you know nothing. Actually, but at the same time, you could sit there and look at Biden and say, we have 47 years of Biden. So
that's why I don't want to vote for Biden too. And me personally, I'd rather have young enthusiasts there.
Like Jo Jorgensen.
Yeah, she's 61.
Younger.
Way younger. Very smart too.
So it's just going to be crazy. It's going to stay being crazy for the next couple weeks, months.
I was going to say months.
I'm going to go with that minimum weeks. Yeah, at minimum weeks. honestly, I think it's up in the air. I think Biden probably has the advantage here because now Trump has to prove that there was some issues.
It's not too late, though.
No, it's not too late. I
Yeah,
think that
yeah.
there's some stuff out there, like blatant stuff you can easily see. The question is what do you do about it then? What do you do about it, right?
Well-
Do you do
Keep
just
trying.
a recount? Because if in just a recount, how do you
That'll take 'em more
validate?
time.
Yeah, it will take more time. But that's what I'm saying, though. Do you do a
Yeah.
recount? Do you do like we were talking about, just a
cleansing?
brand new
Yeah.
election, brand new voting election day for
person only.
everybody else, in person only?
Wear
do
mask.
Do you just do an audit on all the votes and see and identify where if hey, these guys are wrong, these guys are right, because a recount doesn't mean that you're auditing it properly, right? I don't know, there's so many different ways in which they can go. I'm not talking about the best way. Which way are they going to go? Remember, the United States, the government is run by people, by lazy people, by people that have agendas, by people that have beliefs. And with the way in which, I mean, honestly, I can't really trust all the Democrats out there because, like you're talking about, social media has honestly radicalized a lot of them. Not a majority by any means,
No,
but still
but-
a lot, and enough to be able to be like,
I disagree
hey.
with you. I think
Oh, yeah?
it did radicalize
A lot?
majority.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
like I said, for social media platforms.
Yeah,
And then you
you're
have
right.
you have YouTube right there.
So you're
which-
more you're saying it's worse than I'm saying.
Well, I
that-
mean,
well,
you
but-
smoke
Yeah.
smoke more than the.
Yeah, you're right, you're
You're
right.
more opinion. You like I said, you spoke more, but at the same time, and that's why I really didn't want to
Yeah, no,
say
you're
the
good.
same thing over again.
Yeah.
But I think it's like people like other like. What do other countries think of us now? Like when it comes to this election too, like that's what my biggest concern is too. Like the United
Yeah.
States of America is supposed to be the top dog, supposed to be the one to take charge, and they're seeing our election that's totally rigged. Mm-hmm. I think that's going to hurt our.
I think
efforts,
it will. I think it
Yeah.
will because in the next we have to, which is why I think we go back to in-person voting, just like we agree. To me, we do that in the near future as well. Next couple elections. Hey, I'm sorry, we just got to do it. We have to write the system to make it trustworthy again. So that's all I have to say.
Yeah, I'm done.
You're done? You have any closing comments? All right. So yeah. So just closing comments. And yes, I think we have the answer. We know in-person election needs to be January. Only the states that we're having issues with, because the whole United States might be too much, but we can easily do just those states, and hopefully that can help out. But we don't know which way they're going to go. Hopefully they go the way in which we agree is just the correct way, to where we can at least put our minds at ease. Whether Trump or Biden wins, we could say, hey, I didn't vote for him, but at least I know that the majority of the United States did, and I can validate that to the best of our ability. There's stuff going everywhere. We don't know what the heck's going on, but we're just going to pick somebody because that guy just happened to cheat better than the other one. Yeah, exactly. All right. So since I opened it, you want to close it?
I opened it.
You opened it, but you didn't open it the right way. All right. Either way, that's B. I'm B. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment. Definitely leave a comment because I want to know what you guys are thinking. And hit that notification bell so you can get any other uploads we do right whenever we do it. Thanks again. Till next time, guys.
Be safe, y'all.